I'm about to have a Harvey moment right there. I am so tired of being right. It feels like I can see into the future and I don't need no goddamn crystal ball or some tarot cards or a turban on my head and said call me now as if I'm Miss Cleo back in 2000. I said back in January that after that case with Ashley Judd got dropped and they mentioned some new trial that was supposed to be happening with Harvey Weinstein in March, which I found out was March 8th. Something was going to happen around that time, and I told y'all to remember that date. Well, it looks like I was correct on that part, but also something else came out about it as well. Apparently, Harvey Weinstein also had another case against him from 2 weeks ago that was supposed to start up soon, that or start up maybe around that time, that got pushed to June. So something that was a case that was supposed to start in February got pushed all the way to June. Now, keep in mind when I mentioned about that March 8th date, remember he was supposed to start another trial around that time. He has too many trials, it's hard to keep up. He had another trial that was supposed to start around March 8th. That one got delayed to April. So he has not one, but two cases, two trials that got delayed. I'm telling you, they are stacking the cards forever in his favor. They want this man to walk. And they will do any and everything to make sure that it happens. I called this, and to be honest, it wasn't even that hard of a judgment to call. We saw what was going down because every single time something happened with Harvey Weinstein, either you didn't hear about it in the media, or when you did hear about it, it was some bullshit. Or what you did hear about it. Now, this got blown under the radar because remember, 2 weeks ago, it was February, quote unquote, Black History Month. A whole lot of shit was going on last month. A lot of shit. Remember how people kept saying, oh, this is a distraction? Well, this was going on under the radar. 2 weeks ago, it is now what, March 6th. 2 weeks ago, it was what, the second to last week of February. So while all of that stuff was going on in February, this was going on as well, or should I say not going on, because a trial was supposed to happen, but it didn't. The thing that's supposed to happen on March 8th that I told y'all to keep in mind for January didn't happen either. Or it did happen, I should say, but is now getting delayed to April. So now he has two delayed cases, two delayed trials. I'm telling you, he is going to walk from this. The last time we heard about Harvey Weinstein was when he managed to pay, and I'm convinced that he did, pay those lawyers that Rose McGowan had to leave her team and come over to his camp. And they kept trying to say it wasn't no money involved. That's some bullshit. You gotta be fucking kidding me if you think that you are going to insult my intelligence and say that it wasn't money involved. That man paid them under the table to leave her. Not that I give a damn because she's very tainted and toxic herself, to go and join his representation team. Like, the writing is on the wall. Harvey Weinstein is not going to be held accountable for any of the actions that he committed over the years. And I mean years. I'm talking decades. I'm going to leave the link to both articles and you can read them for yourself. The only reason I'm not reading them is because they're very lengthy and I got all I needed just from reading the title and some of the article before I even press record on this video. Because I said, let me just go and look up something about Harvey Weinstein since that date is closely approaching. And sure enough, that's what I found. So I'm going to leave the link to the article that was posted 2 weeks ago. Now, this was 2 weeks ago. And we're just now, I'm just learning about it now. And the other one is more recent because that was posted, what, maybe a day or two ago. They do all of this under the radar. Like I said, CNN didn't talk about it. Fox News for damn sure didn't talk about it. MSNBC didn't talk about it, or any of these other big outlets, CBS, ABC, Fox, NBC, all of them. They did not talk about this at all. Let it have been Bill Cosby, though. We would have known. The minute that the articles went out, we would have known. Now it's like when it comes to people like Harvey Weinstein, if we want to find anything out, we have to literally go and Google search their name and click on the news tab and see what pops up, because that's what I just had to do. That's how I found all of this out. But it doesn't surprise me, because when you control the media, you control the narrative. And that is a very true statement. Truer words have never been spoken. I mean, they have been, but you get what I mean. Harvey Weinstein will walk away from this unscathed. He may have to lay low for a little bit once all of this blows over, but I highly doubt that he is going to be put in a position like Bill Cosby is right now. And I'm not talking about being in jail. I'm talking about like having your legacy be tarnished and tainted, and people looking at you some type of way. But don't get it twisted. Some people are going to still look at Harvey Weinstein in a very different light than they did once at one time. From people like ourselves all the way to people who work in the industry. But not to the point where he's like how Bill Cosby is right now. But like I said, none of this shit surprises me in the least bit. But it's just amazing that this remained cover up. Just like I talked to you about with Kevin Spacey. We didn't know what was going on with Kevin Spacey. I didn't know what was going on until I heard his name pop up in a video, and I looked it up, and sure enough, he has a trial. His pre-trial is still going on, but we're not getting any updates about it because it's getting overshadowed by other things. So it's pretty much to the point where if you want to find out stuff about people like Harvey Weinstein or Kevin Spacey, you're gonna have to actually go and look that up yourself. It's gotten to that point, because if you have to rely on lamestream media, which many of us shouldn't be relying on in the first damn place, you will never get the kind of information that you need. And even if they do give you the information, it's going to be half-assed anyway. So it's almost like if you look their stuff up, you're going to have to look up a few articles at a time to see if they all say the same thing, just to make sure that it's covered correctly and accurately. And even then, you got to take that with a grain of salt. But that's all I have for you right now, dealing with Harvey Weinstein. It's almost to the point where if you have to look up anything with Harvey Weinstein, now you just got to keep now I'm gonna have to tell y'all to keep tabs, or keep close tabs for the month of April, because they didn't specify a date in April. They just said in April. Just like with the other case for June, they just said in June. They didn't specify when in June. So you just have to keep an eye out for those particular months. So when I tell y'all look out for around these times, just keep an eye out for those times. I don't give a damn if you have to mark it in a calendar. Just keep an eye out. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and I will talk to you in the next one.